Okay, let's look at simplifying factorials. First of all, we want to see what this exclamation mark means in mathematics. And this exclamation mark is a way of saying that you take the value in front of it, the whole number, so if we have 7, and you multiply it by every whole number before 7, all the way down to the number 1. So what we mean by that is we obviously take the number 7, okay, and then what comes before 7? Well, we have 6, so we multiply by 6. And we multiply that by 5, that by 4, 3, 2, and then 1. So that's what 7 exclamation mark means in terms of an equation. I could go all the way through it for you. Let's see, 2 times 1 is 2, times 3 would be 6, times 4 is 24, times 5 is 100, 600, 600 times 7, 656, 5,600. Did I get that? I might have. Actually, it wasn't that hard if that was the case. What is it?
Close.
Oh! I was off by a little. That's okay. We looked at here what our real answer is. It may be best to use a calculator for this. 5,040. Okay. Anyways, that's what a factorial is. Now, simplifying a factorial, this is a common procedure, especially when you get into stuff called combinations and permutations. You end up with this relationship. So we're going to write it all out and then talk about how we can simplify it, and then a kind of a shortcut to that after. So we have 8 factorial divided by 5 factorial. So we already know that means 8 by 7 by 6 by 5, 4, and I'm going to write it all the way out, 3, 2, and by 1, right? Pretty large number. And we could work that out. It's going to be essentially this number times 8, because 8 has been added to that, divided by 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1. Okay, well, instead of doing that, we know that when we have multiplication and division above it, we can essentially cancel terms out. So for instance, we can cancel 1 out because multiplying by 1 occurs on the top and the bottom. Okay, same idea with multiplying by 2, 3, 4, all the way up to the number 5. All of that cancels out. And when we say cancel out, what it means is we're creating the value of 1. Okay, so all of these have turned into multiplying by 1, which doesn't do anything. It doesn't change anything, at least. And it's all being divided by 1. Again, we don't need to divide by 1. It doesn't really change anything. So the new question's been simplified to just 8 times 7 times 6. Okay? And what did it end up being? 336, looks like? Okay, so there's our 336. So that's how we can simplify. So instead of writing it all out, let's build a third example here. Call this example 3. What do you have? 17 factorial divided by 15 factorial times 2 factorial. Okay, I gotta think about this one. The third thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kind of remove the 2 factorial from the bottom, and I'm just going to focus on the, put them in green, the 17 and the 15. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I know using this idea, I can essentially cancel out the 15, right? I can cancel out the 15 and just leave the number 17 times 16 on top. Okay, because we know those 15s are going to cancel all the way out with the 17. Does that make sense with what we said before?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of? Okay. So instead of writing out 17 times 16 times 15 all the way down, we know the 15 all the way down is on the bottom. Yeah. So what we're going to say is the 15 all the way down cancels out, and we only really need to write 17, I know I wrote an arrow there, times 16, and then the rest of this, all canceled out because of that 15. Oh, okay? So that's kind of my shortcut instead of writing everything out. If that's hard to remember, then you just write everything out. It's a little tedious, but you can simplify that way. Whoops. And then on the bottom, well, we still have our 2 factorial, which is 2 times 1, which is a much simpler to look at, right? Now I just got to do 17 times 16 divided by 2 times 1, and it's going to be a large value. We'll get a calculator out here. I'm not going to attempt that. 17 times 16. That's easy. 272, and then essentially divided by 2, which becomes 136. 136, is that the answer there? It should have been. Okay, so 136 is what we got. So this is our way of simplifying a factorial and explaining what a factorial is.